Morning everybody. Well, you know, it's bloody freezing here in the northeast, but not too bad down here in the greenhouse. As promised, I want to get stuck onto some of my flowers. I know I'm way behind this year, but things will be better next year. Right, now this is one of them I was supposed to bring down from the plot yesterday, but unfortunately I got a new member for the from our site, Alan Blakely, great lad, and some fantastic information on pictures and photography and that, so welcome to the site anyway. Alan, as I said yesterday, it was great meeting you. I've managed to get a few of your pics this morning on the, I've been on the internet and looking at some of them pictures, absolutely beautiful. As I say, it's not what it's all about in the garden, it's where we live, and of course up here in the northeast, we've got a beautiful coastline, the North Shields Fishing Port, absolutely fantastic. So as I said this morning, if you like where you live, post a couple of pics on it, but we'd like to see exactly where you live and what your place is like. So this morning, Reg has just been up the plot this morning, and what he's done, he's brought a couple of stools down with him. If you go back on some of my videos on the fantastic flowers, and I showed you how to strip the old stools off last year. These are the old plants of last year, the chrysanths. And what I'm going to do today is to show you how to take some new stock for this year. Oh, they're an absolute beautiful flower. I love the chrysanths. You might have a few in the garden, you might have some of the old sprays in the garden, but the old spray chrysanths, the outdoor ones, they do get bigger and bigger as they get older. Well, it's easy enough to do. Dig it up, divide the stool, or you can pull what you call roof cuttings or Irishman's cuttings from the sides and root them into a nice strong new plant, and let it grow away again. But these are totally different. These are the incurves or the reflexes. I've grown these for years, and there's just a few of the varieties you can get. There's absolutely beautiful incurves, reflexes, ball types. There's some really beautiful ones. There's some great growers out there. Loads on the internet like to grow the chrysanths. But if you just want a few nice ones for the house, well, this is the way to go about it. As I say, that's the old stool of last year, what we call the stool, the chrysanthemum root. This was dug up back end of last year, just stuck in a garden, cut down to a foot high, and then what I do is I like to put them on the heat in January, and this is where these should have been. But this has had no heat whatsoever, as you can see all the new shoots coming away from it. As I say, I like to put mine on the heat in January, and to start taking cuttings the end of January, beginning of February for the shows. That's where people start to get a bit mystified as why they take them so early. Well, why we take them so early is because we like to get the cuttings well grown, well rooted before March and April comes, because that's the time of stopping. And I'll explain all this in a video. I'll go right through the year. What we mean by stopping is, if you watch the sweet peas that we did the other week, it's exactly the same. Once your plant gets up to so high, a nice bushy plant, we nip the top out, and what we're doing, we stop it. It's a stopping date. So if your show's early September, you'll have a stopping date around about back end of March, middle of April. It's not rocket science. It's very easy once you get to know the terms and what it's all about. But by stopping the plants, what you're doing, you're making it branch out, 2 or 3. Let them grow on 2 or 3 branches. You can always later on, once you get a couple of good solid branches and you know how many flowers you want your flower to hold, you can cut back. You can cut a couple away. But I usually flower mine 3 up. That's 3 good branches, 3 nice blooms per plant. And by stopping them, what you do is you've got a date from the time you stop up to the time you flower, and you can more or less count your days or your weeks in between that. And each flower has a different stopping date, or there's a bunch of them in a variety of family of flowers, different chrysanths, which more or less have the same stopping dates. So you can stop them on that certain date, and you're guaranteed by the time the show is on, you've got a nice bloom. That's what it's all about. But we'll tackle all them in a later date. For today, it's all about just getting. That's a lovely fresh plant. There's another, and this is our own compost, by the way. I potted these stools up in December, November, before I had my accident, and this is our own compost. No feed, no spray, nothing. There's nothing wrong with you spraying these if you want to use a chemical, if you do find any bugs on them. As I say, we don't use chemicals, but for the likes of chrysanths, I'll use a rhubarb spray. or I use a garlic spray, or I might be tempted just to use a little bit from the pound shop, just a cheap and nasty little pound bottle, which will kill bugs, mice, anything like that. But anything that gets a bit heavy, like a leaf miner or white rust, and then you're going to have to revert to some of the heavier products, which we don't like using. But as I say, they're not for eating, they're for flour, so I don't mind tackling them with a bit of heavy spray if I need be. Keep them nice and clean, and you shouldn't have to worry about it. So that's my stool, and all I'm going to do, a lot of people take a knife to them, and what I like to do is just push down, and there we've got a bit of root on the bottom there, but you can plant that up straight away if you want. People call that an Irishman's cutting, but that's two, and I'm going to take these lovely ones. It's a beauty, that, absolutely fantastic. I've seen Dean Hoods from Blythe. It's his first year of taking cuttings. Well done, Dean, they look great. Nice plants, mate. But yep. So I've taken them off, the biggest ones. And down below there's 1, 2, there's at least 6 more there, so I'm just going to let that stool grow on for another few weeks. In a few weeks' time I can take another load of cuttings off it. Be different dates, but right, so there's what we're cutting from the stool. There's a bit of root, that's where I ripped it away from the main stem, so I'm going to clean all that down. Just pull the leaves away, strip them right back, and I like to leave 2 leaves in the main growing stem. That's all. Now, if I put my finger and thumb there, and if I take it from the branch, and I like to leave a good inch. And what you want to do is from there, a good inch to 1.5 inches, and go to a leaf node. This is where you've snapped one of the leaves away, and you can just see the nodes picking out from there. And once again, clean knife, bit of disinfectant, nice and clean. And if you cut on a slant, just below a leaf node, a nice sharp knife, slant and cut just below the leaf node, and that's your cutting. That's perfect. So anybody wondering why there's a point on the top of your rooting compound, and that's all I use, just a normal one. You can pick them up from more shops, bone shops, and all it is just to protect that roots, and I just go well in a good inch, half inch in the rooting powder, and then you can use the top of that into the compost, press that in, and that's well in. I'll just pop that to one side for the moment and just show you. Now, I use a multi-cell tray. As you can see, the water actually pouring out the bottom here, because it's been sitting in some water. It's nice and damp. You know my compost, it's a good handful of 3 good handfuls of peat, multi-purpose compost, a good handful of sharp sand, and a handful of perlite, and that's for all my cuttings. And they'll sit in there now, fantastic. All they'll go is into a propagator in a tray. I'll probably be 3 or 4 this morning. Pop the top over that, and there we have it. Now this is just in the cool greenhouse. It's 50-55 in here, but inside this propagator you've got your lids on. I like to shut them for the first few days, so you get a nice moist temperature inside, and they'll grow away quite well in there. I explained the other day about taking the bubble wrap down, and this is one of the priorities, that I leave this side up. I don't want any heavy sunshine on these. I look for a shaded spot. They'll go on the side here underneath that pond, so they're not getting direct sun. Put direct sunlight on them and they'll just shrivel up, regardless of how wet your compost is or how much you spray. So they're getting nice. They're not getting direct sunlight. They're getting the light they need, but they've got the heat, and they should root away within a few weeks. Now what I like to do with mine is just lift the propagator lid every day, come down, because they will sweat up a hell of a lot. It's just take the moisture off and get these a good spraying every day with just clean water, tepid water, and getting the spray. Maybe it's once a week or once a fortnight until the root. I put a bit of chamomile tea in the spray and get in the spray and that. But they'll rump away. Once they get rooted in them multi-cell trays, they'll go into the 3-inch pots, and we'll start from there. But that's the idea of taking your cuttings. Quite easy to do. I've got about 6 varieties up the allotment, and I'm taking cuttings from this year. And this year I'm going to start with the Liverpool Festival. Now it's an absolutely beautiful. It's an in-curve. It's an easy plant to grow. If you're just growing for the garden, that's fine. You'll get a lovely flower from them. But if you want to be a bit more adventurous and start showing, look around. There's plenty of shows around. Better still, get on the allotments and see some of the lads. There's plenty of lads that show chrysanths. Have a chat with them. You might even be able to get a few plants off them, or an old stool. If you get an old stool off them, that's fine. It's not about, you don't have to take your cuttings this year. You can plant your stool up, and at least you've got the stock for next year, and then you can start yourself. Back end of the year, you can strip your plant down, cut your main stem down, put it in the greenhouse, and then it'll start throwing nice new shoots out for you for next year. You don't have to have heat if you don't want to use heat. If you're just using them for the garden, now that was a little bit bent out as I take it up, but you just gently use up on the stem, and you get a nice straight stem. Once again, I'm taking from the bottom of the leaves, finger and thumb on there, and just looking down, and there's a nice node there, slant. You can put this on a tabletop and just cut them on there. This is just for the sake of the camera. That's a perfect cutting, that, to me anyway. That's the way I like to grow them. Once again, into the pot and mix, good 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Stick them in there with the road. What we'll do, we'll just pop that top over on this side for the time being, just so I can make, yeah, great little things there. The root and powder, the tops, say they're multi uses. Stick that in. Once again, just pack around it with your compost. Nice sandy, so it's well draining. That's the main thing. Well draining. You're not going to have any water, and to me, they're fantastic. They'll grow away really well. We'll just plod on with them couple. I've got another 2 to take. As I say, chrysanths are an easy plant to grow. There's thousands of varieties out there. There's some really beautiful colours, and of course the big lads, the producers are taking cuttings and they're crossing different plants every year, so you get new varieties coming out all the time. Once again, finger and thumb down the stem, keep turning it until you find a root that you're happy with, a node where the leaf stem you pulled away. Perfect. You should end up with a good, out of each stool, there's no reason why you cannot take a good dozen cuttings of each variety, or depending on how many you want. As I say, just use your cap, 1 inch down, and then you know exactly, and that's hitting the bottom of the compost there just fine. I've got one more to do. As I say, people do, some people don't bother cutting back, and what they do is they root straight into that. A lot of big showmen will tell you no way, because where you pulled away from the root, you could have a disease or anything on the stem. I know mine look lovely and clean, they're lovely plants, but I never take a chance on it. And of course that's what they've named them an Irishman's cutting. Just stick it straight in. Sometimes when you pull them off, they have a little bit of root on. Stick them straight in the pot. They will root away lovely, nice and easy, but then you take a chance by transferring any disease that might be on the root. So you can do that if they're just for the garden, but my way, I've never failed with it. Always been the same every year. Choose your leaf node, get your measurement where you want it, and just nip it off, and there we go. There's nothing hard about that. You'll get used to it as after you take your first cuttings. Once again, ½ inch to 1 inch into there. Double the same in your compost. And that's fine. Well pleased with them. So in a matter of 10 minutes I've got 4 lovely cuttings here. I've got another variety down here. I've got the Bronze Max Riley. That's another incurving one, but for the time being I'm over the moon with them. I've got 4 beautiful ones. What I will do, don't forget your marker, mark your plants. Of course, Liverpool Festival, it's in there. And what I will do tomorrow, or this afternoon, I'll take 4 of the Bronze Riley and I'll put the 4 on this side, leave the gap in the middle. I'm not bothered about the gap in the middle. So I've got 4 on this side, so I've got 4 lovely plants. And people can say, well, why don't you just plant the whole plant into the garden? Well, because for the simple reason, the multi-shooter, they're all over. It's the old stool, you could be carrying diseases, so that's why we take the cuttings, so we get fresh plants every year. As I say, that's Bronze Max Riley, and that is an absolutely stonking plant. That's a beauty. They're quite easy to get a hold of. As I say, if you look around the allotments, when you get to know the lads, you get to know the chrysanth growers, it's quite easy to get stock from them. You might get the best of stock. They're not going to give you that showing in championship blooms, but they'll give you some good stock. Feeling that, get yourself online. There's a good company I quite frequently use their site. It's called Chrysanths Direct. Go take that online and look at that site, and what that site will give you, it'll give you the blooms, it'll give you the stopping dates, it'll give you all the information you need on there. Fantastic site. Or if you're up the northeast, well, that's Choice Plants, and this guy's from South Shields. This is the first year I've used him, and what I've done, because I was going to show this here, I've sent away for a couple of chrysanths myself. Some little white ones, some incurving whites, small poms, but and some dahlias. Those dahlias are absolutely beautiful. If I can find them. Gladioli, I sent away for a few more gladioli, some new stock. And these are all the ones I was going to show, but unfortunately, as I say, I've been set back that much this week, this year, that I'm going to, at least I'll have the stock plants, and then I can start again next year, building up my own stock, and I'll have enough time next year to get the heaters, get the greenhouses all sorted out where I want to be, and I can start showing next year. But for the time being, that's a chrysanths up and run, as I say. Beautiful blooms. All I've got to do now is bring my spray down and give them a little bit of spray, and then every day I'll take that top off just to make sure there's not too much moisture in it, and it'll sit here quite happy. It's 54 in here. It's absolutely blowing a gale. Must be about 40 outside, freezing cold, but in here it's just, I love it. It's just nice. It's just nice temperature. The plants are happy. They're growing away quite strong, and slowly. That's the main thing. Slowly. I don't want to hurry anything, because I think we're going to have a funny year this year. As I say, with the onions and that, we're only middle of March. They'll get potted up next week into cups, so they'll be sitting right through April, because we don't start planting out until about the 2nd week in May outside, when we're sure all the frosts are finished. So we've got a good 6 weeks to go yet, and even longer for the bedding plants, because with bedding plants, hanging baskets, I never plant mine out until the 1st week in June. If the plants are ready, we'll fill the baskets up, we'll hang them in the polytunnels, in the cold tunnel, where there's plenty of fresh air coming through. No way will we hang them outside, because as I've said before, the likes of geraniums, begonias, busy lizzies, they're really prone to frost, and they really are frost tender, and they hate it. If they get a touch of that, there's every chance you can set them back, you can put a check on them. And that's why I keep saying to people, don't be in so much of a hurry, just be patient. Time will come. You'll get all your plants sorted out. Just a quick mention to Dean. Why I sow in rows. Now these are Sweet Williams. Unfortunately, where I've set my camera is my he was on about Livingston daisies. Now I'll not start my Livingston daisies off until this week, because they grow that quick, and you don't want massive plants before planting out. As I say, it's going to be cold right up until then. Now there's a Swan River daisy I only planted last week. Now, why I plant them in rows like that is because it's so much easier to prick off, get your tool in and just prick off little bunches, instead of having them broadcast on the tray and you're trying to fiddle on little bits and pieces. You've got a straight line there, and if you see me lobelia in the last video, we're not going to do them in rows, and this is why I do it in rows. You can prick out little bunches and separate the branches much easier when they're in a row like that, rather than have them broadcast on the tray. If you get them in, when they're bigger plants like dahlias and marigolds and stuff like that, it doesn't matter because you can easily get a hold of them. But these little fellas, just take your time with them. As I say, I've got this is my 4th tray of Swan River daisy, and they're just growing away nice and slow. That's all I want, because I'll not start pricking these off until the beginning of April, and then they'll sit on in their trays until you've got 6 weeks from the beginning of April until the 2nd week in May. So you want to make sure that you get well rooted and into the different cell trays, multi-cell trays, for potting off, or for getting ready for putting up into their pots and planting out in the gardens. But that's where I like to grow mine. And that's well sorted. But as for Miss and Brian's mum, that's the Livingston daisy. They're beautiful. Now I don't sow them until next week, and that's another one that'll grow away really quick. So end of March be fine for me. Give them 6 weeks. That gives you the middle of May. They'll be ready for planting out. So I'm well chuffed. If you start planting too early, you find that you run out of room that quick, and if you haven't got stuff outside like cold frames and that, you're going to be snookered. So just bide your time with me, and we'll get on canny. As I say, that was my chrysanthemums. That's them out the road. I'm going to plod on down here for another hour and a half or so. I'm going to get these bronze Max Rileys potted up, get them cut. I'll get myself a bit of spray, give them a good spraying, and then back upstairs for lunch. Okay, so for the time being, thanks for watching, sharing and subscribing, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.